Hey everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records. It is time for our weekly check into some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you. Not the full list as we chug ever closer to Record Store Day Black Friday, because it's still way too large to cover. So we're just going to hit the highlights. If you'd like to see that full list though, head over to our website at radiowastelandrecords.com. From there you can look through everything that there is to offer for this upcoming week, as well as several weeks into the future. But for now, though, let's just concentrate on the releases expected for Friday, November 17th, 2023. And we're starting off with a big one, not only volume-wise, but the caliber of the star-wise as well. And this is the brand new one from Dolly Parton. This is called Rockstar, and according to our description, the global icon and recent Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, Dolly Parton, has joined forces with some of rock music's most legendary artists, along with some of today's brightest stars for her first ever rock and roll album called Rockstar. Now, this 4 LP set sees Dolly teaming up with an all-star roster of musicians for a 30-song collection. This includes 9 original tracks and 21 covers of some iconic rock anthems. Some of the folks that you will hear on here along with Dolly Parton include the likes of Richie Sambora, Sting, Steve Perry, John Fogerty, Kid Rock, Steven Tyler, Peter Frampton, Joan Jett, Chris Stapleton, Elton John, Nikki Sixx of all people, and then Emmylou Harris and Sheryl Crow, Pat Benatar, and even Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, and a whole host of others. So this 4 LP set comes at a price though. The black vinyl version has a suggested list of about $60, and there is an indie exclusive version on purple vinyl, also 4 LP, but this one comes with an alternate cover, that one also listing though for around $60. So big stuff from Dolly, doing a lot of rock and roll staples. Make sure you let your record store know which version you would like, the regular cover with the black vinyl or the indie exclusive purple vinyl version with that alternate cover. Other new releases for the 17th include this brand new one from The National. It's called Laugh Track. The description says it is a surprise companion to The National's April release, The First Two Pages of Frankenstein. 2 variations of this, the double LP on black vinyl version listing for about $45, and there is an indie exclusive on clear and pink vinyl, also a double LP. This one a little bit more expensive, listing for around $51. Here's an EP from Kurt Vile. It's called Back to Moon Beach, a black vinyl version and a Coke bottle clear vinyl version. But again, this is an EP. It looks like there's just 6 cuts on this altogether, listing for about $23. Here we have something brand new from the Dwarves, and it's called Concept Album. The description says that the punk rock veterans, the Dwarves, return with a sprawling, genre-defying trip through the underbelly of rock and roll, thrash, garage, pop, metal, and experimental music, all with their trademark transgressive lyrics and shocking visual imagery. If you're not careful, you might just catch something from the Dwarves. Concept album by the Dwarves on black vinyl, listing for about $23, plus you get the uncensored cover version. Dirt on My Diamonds Volume 1 is something brand new coming up from Kenny Wayne Shepard. Hot on the heels of his critically acclaimed 2022 reissue, Trouble Is 25, Shepard returns with a brand new project that builds upon his already legendary repertoire. Again, our descriptions really like to embellish. Single LP on clear-ish vinyl. It says colored vinyl, but it looks like that's kind of a whitish or grayish colored vinyl by the looks of this. Dirt on My Diamonds Volume 1 from Kenny Wayne Shepard, listing for about $30. Here's a neat package from Bob Dylan, including this in the new releases because of, well, you'll see in a second. This is Another Budokan 1978. The description says that Another Budokan 1978 includes 16 specifically selected tracks from the new complete Budokan 1978 box set, newly mixed from the original 24-track analog tapes. All of these tracks are previously unreleased. So this is a double LP set coming in a gatefold sleeve, and it includes an OBI strip and a 4-panel insert with liner notes. So Another Budokan 1978 from Bob Dylan, listing for about $47. Also on the live front, we've got this one from Ministry called Chicago, Detroit, 1982, coming on red marbled vinyl, and this from Cleopatra Records. The description says it's available for the first time ever as a standalone vinyl piece. This vintage live performance captures Al Jorgensen's Ministry in their early synth pop days. So these recordings were previously available only as part of the 2015 tracks box set. So Ministry, Chicago, Detroit, 1972, listing for about $28. Okay, so check your bingo cards for this next one. Who had Juliana Hatfield singing the music of the Electric Light Orchestra. That's what we've got for Juliana Hatfield Sings ELO. This one coming on limited edition metallic gold vinyl, and it is exactly as the title says, Juliana Hatfield singing ELO songs. This one listing for about $28. Okay, so I'm struggling a little bit to include this next one, but what the heck, we'll put it out there, simply because these guys should have been disgraced and forgotten about completely. But here we have the best of Millie Vanil, a 35th anniversary, not of the album, but of the group. Group with the air quotes, by the way. Millie Vanil, according to our description, had a host of global hits, including 3 number ones on the Billboard Hot 100s. And this 30th anniversary collection has got them. It is a double LP set on black vinyl, listing for about $36. We'll just kind of leave it there. Well, you've got the music from, so next up is the original soundtrack score from the Barbie movie. This one coming from Waxworks Records. And it is the original motion picture soundtrack composed by Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt. This on pink vinyl and listing for about $37. And then finally on the new release front, we've got one, this was a big one for my kids when they were much younger, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, Water. This is music from the animated series, not that pile of garbage from M. Night Shyamalan several years back, or the new Netflix live-action one that they're going to try to resuscitate, but the original and much better Avatar: Last Airbender series. So Book 1, Water on light blue colored vinyl. This, by the way, featuring the music by Emmy Award-winning composer and musician Jerry Zuckerman. I'm going to assume that this is the first in a series of releases for the Avatar animated series. So this first one, Book 1, Water, on that blue vinyl that we mentioned, listing for about $40. Before we get to the reissues for the week of the 17th, I need to mention the Sinead O'Connor that we talked about previously. Looks like those had been pushed back. Now they are scheduled for the week of the 17th. So we've got The Lion and the Cobra, Am I Not Your Girl, and Universal Mother, that we talked about those a couple of weeks back. Looks like they are slated for release this coming Friday. But for the rest of the reissues, we can look forward to The Cult and Electric, 2 variations of this one. This was the 3rd album by The Cult, originally released in 1987. The black vinyl version listing for about $34, and there is an indie exclusive on blue colored vinyl, electric blue possibly. This one also listing for $34. A cool release, but beware, this is a 45 RPM double LP, and this is a 30th anniversary edition of Verses from Pearl Jam. This is their historic 2nd album, Verses, which features hits like Daughter, Elderly Woman Behind the Counter in a Small Town, and Rearview Mirror. But this has been moved to a double LP and spread out a little bit, so it is listed as a 45 RPM. I know for some people that's a deal breaker, but you should get some superior audio quality, and what you give up is having to get up every few minutes and change the side. But Versus, the 30th anniversary edition, double LP on 45 RPM, black vinyl listing for about $45. We have a 20th anniversary of Fallen from the group Evanescence, this one coming on pink and black marbled vinyl. It's being billed as a deluxe edition of their 2003 debut album. There's also a black vinyl version, I think that lists around the same price, but the Fallen 20th anniversary deluxe edition on pink and black marbled vinyl from Evanescence listing for about $37. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Ween and a Fucus edition of the Pod. Our description says that this is now back in print on vinyl. Named one of the 20 best albums of 1992 by Spin Magazine, Ween's 2nd record was recorded by Dean and Gene Ween on a Tascam 4-track cassette recorder in 1990. So the Pod, double LP from Ween, coming on brown and cream swirl type vinyl, listing for about $40. Need a little more punk in our lives? How about Fear of a Punk Planet from The Vandals? This one coming on pink and black splatter vinyl. Limited edition pressing, as I mentioned, of the classic 1991 album from the Orange County, California punk pop heroes, The Vandals. This one listing for about $33. Here we have a full throttle studio album from the 90s alternative rock giants Sponge. It is a reissue of Lavatorium. This, of course, featuring the band's biggest hit, Plowed, and a whole host of other great stuff on here as well. So Sponge, Lavatorium, listing for about $23. One more anniversary reissue to tell you about. This is Spirit from Jewel, the 25th anniversary of that album, originally released in 1998. This double LP set features the singles Down So Long, Jupiter, and Hands, which peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. So Jewel's reissue of Spirit, the 25th anniversary edition, double LP on black vinyl, listing for about $33. It's another reissue of Shania Twain's Greatest Hits. This is a double LP on black vinyl, and it lists for about $38. A pair of jazz reissues to pass along. First up is Very Tall from Oscar Peterson. This one is part of the Verve Acoustic Sound series. Originally released in 1961, this reissue will list for about $38. And then we have Bill Evans' Sunday at the Village Vanguard. This is part of the original Jazz Classic series from Craft Recordings. This one listing for about $39. Back to the rock and roll, we now have Vagabonds of the Western World from Thin Lizzy. This is a deluxe edition double LP on purple colored vinyl, and the description says that Thin Lizzy is celebrating the 50th anniversary of their third studio album, featuring some rarities and unreleased music never previously heard. Originally released in 1973, this was the band's last album with the original guitarist Eric Bell, and the first to feature the artwork of Jim Fitzpatrick. So the deluxe edition reissue of Vagabonds of the Western World, double LP purple vinyl from Thin Lizzy, listing for about $40. Let's toss one more 50th anniversary in here as well. Here is Overnight Sensation from Frank Zappa. This is being served up on a double LP 180 gram black vinyl. It's audiophile, and this is also cut at 45 RPM for the first time from the original analog tapes. This release also includes a bonus 24 by 12 inch poster of the complete cover art, but as we mentioned, take caution, this is cut at 45 RPM, but the audio quality should be pretty decent. So the 50th anniversary reissue of Overnight Sensation from Frank Zappa, double LP on black vinyl but at 45 RPM, listing fairly heavy at around $60. We've got a couple of variations of Ozzy Osborne's anniversary reissue of Bark at the Moon, the third studio album from the Oz man himself. A black vinyl version listing for about $25, and there is what's being called an RSD Essential coming on translucent cobalt blue vinyl, this reissue listing for about $30. And finally, let's kick in one more from LA Guns. This is Cocked and Reloaded. Please take caution on this because I do believe that this is one of those reimagined albums. They don't say so specifically, but from the description, here's what we've got. It says it's a limited edition vinyl reissue of the 2000 studio album from the Southern California sleaze rock legends LA Guns. Now it says it features the classic Guns lineup as they crank through the entirety of their beloved 1989 album, Cocked and Loaded. But again, since they're calling this Cocked and Reloaded, I'm almost positive that this is going to be re-recordings of that album and not the original being reissued. Either way, this is coming from Deadline Music and Cleopatra Records on purple, black, and white vinyl, that limited edition of Cocked and Reloaded from LA Guns, listing for about $45. And that is a quick check of some of the new releases headed our way for Friday, November 17th, 2023. If you're local and you'd see something you'd like us to pre-order, just contact us here at the store. Not local, or you just prefer using the website, head over to RadioWastelandRecords.com. From there, you can search through all of this stuff, put your pre-orders in for either delivery or pickup here at the store, whichever way you desire. Until next week, though, thanks for watching. This has been Jim from Radio Wasteland Records.